it's time to wake up. It's time to get up and wake up and stay up. Because I, for one, am tired of these Amos and Andy stepping fetching wicked niggeroids. This smiley face devil, Shannon Sharp, yeah, you a devil too? Man, I liked you at once, but you can't do nothing but kiss masses, you know what. You can't stop kissing masses, you know what. And Charles Barkley, old fake Muhammad Ali wannabe snake Negro, you'll say anything for money, and you said this yourself. It's time to oust these people. They love him so much, y'all go live with him. And nothing needs to be said about Stephen A. Y'all know how wicked he is.
You look great. Thank you very much, sir. You look great, my girl.
Thank you, Kanye.
Do you want to talk about anything, Kanye?
I mean, do you think you're being unfairly targeted for the comments you've been making?
You feel like these terms, sir?
Tom and Giselle revealed their breakup in separate Instagram posts on October 28th and addressed their co-parenting plans, with Tom saying, "In recent days, my wife and I finalized our divorce from one another after 13 years of marriage. We arrived at this decision amicably and with gratitude for the time we spent together." He added, "We are blessed with beautiful and wonderful children who will continue to be the center of our world in every way. We will continue to work together as parents to ensure they receive the love and attention they deserve."
You feel like these terms, sir?
You need no further to look than Tom Brady and his breakup and Kanye and his breakup. Even Tom Brady's breakup was done dignified, done with some class. He still sees his kids. Kanye was forced to pay $200,000 a month. Now he can see his kids after he's paying his money. Now Kanye grew up poor. This woman grew up with a spoon in her mouth. She grew up rich. And he has to pay her $200,000 a month for what? She has money. It's because they are punishing him, and they are letting you know that this metaverse, this all about the optics, all about the mind, all about the visuals, is unfair because they can't do it in the real world anymore.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, I mean, anti-Semitic statements are never good for anybody, right? It's kind of like being anti-black.
But, you know, it's really interesting. I didn't realize that I could be considered anti-Semitic till I read one of the definitions of anti-Semitism. Look at this. The definition says, making mendacious, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about Jews as such, or the power of Jews as a collective, such as, especially, but not exclusively. This sounds like a, let them go by. All right, so it says, think about it, that sounds like the type wording that's in the contracts, right?
Indeed.
Okay, it says, such as, especially, but not exclusively, the myth about a world Jewish conspiracy or of Jews controlling the media, economy, government, or other societal institutions.
It's very interesting to me that Semitic and anti-Semitic has nothing to do with each other. And this new metaverse is worse than the real world because your very thoughts will condemn you. You will be in trouble and get your bank account freeze because of your thoughts. This is Semitic, relating to or denoting a family of languages that include Hebrew, Arabic, and certain ancient languages such as Phoenician, Akkadian, consult with main subgroups of the Afro-Asiatic family, which blacks are a part of. But anti-Semitic has nothing to do with blacks. That's one.
Isn't that what you said? That Jews run everything?
Yeah, but that actually is considered to be anti-Semitic.
Right.
So I didn't realize that it was anti-Semitic to say, hey, you know, I have a Jewish attorney, I have a Jewish record label, I have a Jewish contractor, I have a
Do you regret your statements?
Or the statements you think you should be walking back? I mean, considering...
What do you mean walking back?
Well, you know, backing up off of them. I mean, the thing is, you've lost a lot of endorsements. People are dropping you. You're getting, you know, vilified. You know, I mean, you might think you're right, but I think you know, there's a whole world out there that's condemning you for what you said.
Okay, so this right here is a chart of Universal Studios, 20th Century Fox, ABC News, CBS News, Columbia Pictures, Warner Brothers, ESPN Sports, Fox News, Washington Post, Metro Goldwyn Mayer, MTV Music Television, Nickelodeon, USA Today, Wall Street Journal, Comedy Central, NBC Entertainment, Google, what else do we have? Disney, ABC Kids and Family, YouTube, Los Angeles Times, Discovery Network, Paramount Pictures, Facebook, Huffington Post, Yahoo, Marvel, Hulu, Cosmopolitan, Time, Touchstone, Associated Press, Pixar, Miramax, HBO, New York Post, LucasArts, MSNBC, DreamWorks Animation. Now the thing is, I skipped over maybe about 5 of them because it was just unclear on this list. The red are the executives that are Jewish at these companies.
Like the women where I'm from, and men talk like men where I am from.
Do you think they stuck together when they heard what you said? Is that what happened?
Well, what I said is, hey, you know, I've had experiences where it felt like I was being teamed up on.
As have I felt teamed up on, especially dealing with YouTube, who took my video down and said it goes against their guidelines. But this is the issue. The video had been up for over a year. You know, I have a deal with YouTube. I actually get paid from YouTube. So everything that I go up, they check to see if it's suitable for ads. This has been up a year, and right before it hits 100,000 views, they take it down. I tried to explain to them, well, how can it be up for a year? No explanation at all. They just sit back, it goes against our guidelines. And they sit it back like within a minute and a half of me asking, you know, what's the deal here?
And I didn't realize that that term would be considered to be anti-Semitic. So I had a mediation with Adidas today, and I think Adidas felt like because everyone else was ganging up on me that they had the right to just take my designs. And I feel like right now, I feel like that was in Christianity. We don't say karma. We say you reap what you sow. And I feel like this is God humbling me right now, because there's two things that are happening. A lot of times when I would say, oh, I'm the richest black man, it would be a defense that I would use for the mental health conversation. Just say, oh, you guys say I'm crazy, but look at this, I made money. And but that is not godlike to be showing off. So if it's not godlike, then God will take that, because it's all the church's money, right? So what's happening right now is I'm being humbled. Another thing that's happening is by me being burned to the flesh every single day, it's actually proving what I had to say. Because how could the richest black man ever be humbled other than to be made to not be a billionaire in front of everyone off of one comment that actually, if you look at the definition of DEF CON, it means to get extra defense, which obviously I must have needed.
Yeah.
I must have needed that extra defense.
Are you worried you ruined your legacy, Kanye?
Did you see that slick little trick? I want you to pay attention very carefully, because the reporters communicate with you, not with their hands. simply with words. So pay attention to the words that they use. It can mean life or death as far as understanding goes. I just hope everybody see how he changed subjects and got him off of the topic he was on. They're very slick when it comes to that, as far as the reporters go.
Well, stop. I'm not worried. I'm just not worried, period. God is alive. God runs the world. You know, God even runs Hollywood. Amen. God is alive. And he's using me right now. He chose me for such a time like this to basically for the media to put their knee on my neck, for Adidas to put their knee on my neck. All I ever wanted at Adidas, I left Nike because Nike wouldn't give me a percentage for my shoes when I had the Red October. And my girlfriend at the time was pregnant and I needed to get some money, because if I was the kid that just had the red shoes, I could have never been a black man wearing a red hat. Like Nike would have shut me down immediately, right? But because Adidas was a German company, it gave me a little bit more room to be able to express myself and to actually have a political opinion as an American, that I wasn't forced into a political opinion because of the color of my skin. Now let's talk about the red hat, and let's talk about the similarities to the White Lives Matter t-shirt. The thing about the red hat that drove me to a point of exhaustion, which was misdiagnosed by I'm not going to say what race, what people, doctor, and what hospital, and what media went to. We know I can't say that. It was a Jewish doctor that diagnosed me of having a disorder that would have had me on medication right now. At a time like this, if I was on medication right now, then one pill could have been swapped out and it would be Michael Jackson and Prince all over again. But because I didn't take the misdiagnosis and I didn't take the medication, I'm able to speak to you guys clear of thought and transparently. Now let me talk about the red hat. Wearing the MAGA hat, the way that Hollywood's political agenda attacked me and put me to a point of exhaustion was death by 1,000 cuts. Everyone would say something to me, from a driver to my ex-wife to Adidas. Everyone would say something. So when I wore that White Lives Matter, I said, I'm not going through this again. I'm not going. Hey, y'all gonna leave me alone about my t-shirt. Because what's the point of having influence and having money if people could come up and just pinch you?
But don't you think having influence, you have a responsibility?
And that's the responsibility that I'm taking right here.
Don't you think
that's why you asked that question.
But don't you think it's dangerous rhetoric to be anti-Semitic, to say all lives matter or white lives matter? Oh, I'm asking.
You're harping on something. Saying white lives matter, anti-Semitic. That's what you just asked.
I'm not saying that's anti-Semitic.
No, you just said that though.
No, and I misspoke. But
now you see how easy that was? He simply said, I misspoke. Even though he was on Kanye's helmet so bad and he wanted to go back to anti-Semiticism so bad, but White Lives Matter, Kanye having the White Lives Matter is a stroke of genius. He said having all lives and White Lives Matter is anti-Semitic because that's the mission he was given. That's how he gets paid. I also want to point out the fact that the brothers that are in the crowd are on this guy helmet.
No, you didn't. That was a Freudian slip.
I'm trying to correct myself.
Okay, correct yourself.
To walk around with
do you want to walk back that statement?
Exactly. Sure, I will.
You got the chance.
Walk back that statement.
Do you think maybe that? Do you think maybe
no,
that?
Wait, say he's gonna walk back.
But I'm saying you're wearing the White Lives Matter shirt, and Black Lives Matter, and a lot of people think that you're being anti-black by saying
no. How?
What?
Let him talk. In America, black people don't take all the rights that we have that are actually given to us. Because we weren't given what we were promised in the first place, which was the 40 acres. Instead, we were given...
And a mule.
Yeah, and a mule. Instead, we were given projects and bad food and posters of Oprah Winfrey. And also Planned Parenthood. People said to me multiple times, visit the Holocaust Museum. I said, visit our Holocaust Museum. It's called Planned Parenthood. 6 million Jews died in the Holocaust, and I am sorry for your losses. 20 million blacks died to abortion, and Planned Parenthood was made by Margaret Sanger with the real KKK as population control. Margaret Sanger is a eugenics and is working today.
Same thing I pointed out. Margaret Sanger dropped a video a few months back with Margaret Sanger, probably even several months. So many videos, sometimes you lose count of the exact time when you're working. And I said, you can see the effects of what they done working today. Maybe Kanye done came across a couple of my videos, y'all.
The #1 cause of death for black people in America is abortion. The most dangerous place for a black man today, or black baby, black woman, is in their mother's stomach. And that is a programming that's pushed through, I got a new word for 2024, the red media. That is the red media. If you go to Apple right now, go to Apple Music. Let's load up the top 10 songs. I guarantee you they're promoting black serial killing.
Absolutely.
Not just one. They're promoting black. The red media is making money off of blacks being serial killers to each other. Also misogynistic. The red media is making money off of that. And God sees it. But I understand, and I'm not judging, because the oppressed becomes the oppressor. And it is our time now. Blacks are coming into money. We are not scared anymore. And I showed you that I crossed that line. They tried to bankrupt me. They tried to say I was crazy, and I'm alive. We haven't had a full black community since the gentrification of Harlem and Black Wall Street, which was torn down. But I know my brothers, my engineers, my architects, my farmers are gonna rise up. And if it meant they had to take me and drag me like Emmett Till in front of everyone because I whistled, I know my brothers, my engineers, and I have no reason to lie. My family was taken away from me. My reputation has been smeared. So let's close with a prayer. Father God, thank you. Thank you for keeping me alive. Thank you for the voice. Thank you for the clarity. Thank you for the experience. And thank you for the love. Because even though the real hate is what's happening on the media, and the idea of DEF CON was to get protected for a time like this, let's lead with love. I have no association to any hate group. If any hate happens upon any Jewish person, it is not associated, because I am demanding that everyone walk in love.
Now the next person we're gonna get into, they did even wronger, in my opinion. Now, people retweet stuff all the time. They post stuff all the time. Since when does posting stuff make you agree with everything it does? People post stuff that people say about them and be like, I'll show you haters, or whatever the case may be. Now you will see this man explain himself thoroughly, later even saying, I didn't mean, or do I believe any of the stuff that was said about the Jewish people. But they still want to just make him bow down and pay attention, because they don't do us like that when somebody offends us.
I went on to Amazon Prime. I was like, you know what, let me see if there are any documentaries on Yahweh. So went in the search bar, typed in Yahweh, that came up. Went out and shared it on my platform. That was my night. In terms of the backlash, or what people call it, we're in 2022.
Now the spirit and energy he has pisses them off more than anything. They don't care if it's 1922. They don't care if it's 2022 or 2052. What they hear in you is truth, and they want to keep the status quo. They don't care what year it is. That infuriates them even more. But if they look around and they're serious with themselves, they'd have to see that our people are waking up.
History is not supposed to be hidden from anybody. And I'm not a divisive person when it comes to religion. I embrace all walks of life. You see it on all my platforms. I talk to all races, all cultures, all religions. And
that should have been enough for anybody. Listen to what the man just said. But it ain't about that. It's about him calling himself a Hebrew, let alone a Jew.
History is not supposed to be hidden from anybody. And I'm not a divisive person when it comes to religion. I embrace all walks of life. You see it on all my platforms. I talk to all races, all cultures, all religions, and my response would be, it's not about educating yourself on what Semitism is and what anti-Semitism is. It's really about learning the root words of where these come from and understanding that this is an African heritage that is also belonging to the people. Africa is in it.
Not only is it in there, but with it at the very end saying consulting the main subgroup of the Afro-Asiatic family, I would say it is defined by it.
Whether we want to dismiss it or not. So the claims of anti-Semitism and who are the original chosen people of God, and we go into these religious conversations and it's a big no-no. I don't live my way like that. I don't live my life that way. Excuse me, I grew up in a melting pot, and I say a melting pot of all races, white, black, red, yellow, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, and you can see the way I live my life now. I'm not here to be divisive, so they could push their agenda. I don't want to say they, because I'm not identifying any one group or race of people, but I'm in a unique position to have a level of influence on my community, and what I post does not mean that I support everything that's being said or everything that's being done, or I'm campaigning for anything. All I do is post things for my people in my community and those that it's actually going to impact. Anybody else that has criticism, it obviously wasn't meant for them.
You get what he said? He literally said, I, as an influencer, posted this so my people would know they're Hebrews. So if you're offended over that, it's because it wasn't even for you. Why are you in our business? This is a message about me and for me and my people.
Hopefully I'm understanding. I guess, understand or not understand those that might imply that that work had anti-Semitic leanings in it. I only ask this because the tweet is still up there, so I
We're in 2022. It's on Amazon, a public platform. Whether you want to go watch it or not is up to you. There's things being posted every day. I am no different than the next human being, so don't treat me any different. You guys come in here and make up this powerful influence I have over top of the adultery of, oh, you cannot post that. Why not? Why not? I don't hear an uproar of that. I'm not here to be divisive on what's going on this or that. I'm not comparing Jews to blacks. I'm not comparing white to black. I'm not doing that. That conversation is dismissive, and it constantly revolves around the rhetoric of who are the chosen people of God. And I'm not here to argue over
Why did you decide to promote something that Alex Jones said?
That was a few weeks ago. I do not stand with Alex Jones' position, narrative, court case that he had with Sandy Hook, or any of the kids that felt like they had to relive trauma, or parents that had to relive trauma, or to be dismissive to all the lives that were lost during that tragic event. My post was a post from Alex Jones that he did in the early 90s or late 90s about secret societies in America of occults, and it's true. So I wasn't identifying with anything of being a campaignist for Alex Jones or anything. I'm just there to post, and it's funny, and it's actually hilarious because out of all the things I posted that day, that was the one post that everyone chose to see. It just goes back to the way our world is and works. I'm not here to complain about it. I just exist.
And to follow up on the promotion of the movie and the book.
Can you please stop calling it a promotion? What am I promoting?
Put it out on your platform.
But I'm promoting it? Do you see me in front of
By putting it out there, people are going to say that you are
promoting. Yeah, put it out there just like you put things out there, right?
Yeah, but it's not.
You put things out there for a living, right?
Right, but my stuff is not.
So let's move on.
Filled with anti-Semitic.
Let's move on. Don't dehumanize me up here.
I'm not doing that.
You're free to post. I can post whatever I want. So say that and shut it down and move on to the next question.
But Kyrie, you have to understand that
I don't have to understand anything from you.
It's not me.
Nothing.
It's
no people that you're making up, bro. Move on.
But by posting,
move on. Next question.
Anybody is
you guys have any more questions for me?
And they're going to say,
you guys have any more questions? Because this is going to be a clip. This is going to be a clip that he's going to marvel at. Is this any more questions?
But you're not answering the question.
This is another answering your question. Oh my God, let's make another Instagram clip so we could be famous again. Next question.
Kyrie basketball.
It has really hit the fan since that press conference. He did another press conference where they attempted to gate him into some stuff again. I've never seen anything like this. Every day somebody posting something they don't agree with, mocking it or making fun of it or something. I'm not saying this is what the brother was doing, but they came up with these 6 things. I always move in these numbers, man. You pay attention. Sources say the Nets delivered Kyrie 6 items he must complete to return to the team. Apologize again. He's apologized. Condemned the movie. What the hell? A nigga likes what he likes. 500,000 donation. He tried that. They didn't take it. Sensitivity training. Anti-Semitic training. Meet with ADL Jewish leaders. Meet with... Man, look, man. We're at the beginning of something huge. What happens next can decide how we as a people go. It's time to say no more. Kyrie, you can't do this. They know you like the movie. You don't want to condemn it. They know that. So what is this about really? It's about making the nigger stand in his place and bow down. Well, I say no damn more. No more Adidas, no more Nike, no more NBA, no more NFL. Let them stick with their NHL, since they want such a white world where we don't exist in it unless we act or talk effeminate like them. This is the metaverse, and pay attention to how unfair, unbalanced it is already. Now keep paying attention to this language. Trust me, it gets clearer.
And for the very first time, the woman who says she was attacked.
Did you catch it? The woman that says she was attacked, even though she got steel plates in her, even though she got beat down by her NFL player that beat her up because she wouldn't bow down, and it was a sister. They say she claims, but it's for certain that Kyrie and Kanye are anti-Semitic. It's for certain that they're liars and they don't really believe what they say, except for the post. Even though he said, I don't believe the parts about Jewish people. No, you posted it. Pay attention to the madness of the metaverse and stand up to it while you can.
And for the very first time, the woman who says she was attacked, I'm the woman who says she was attacked, I'm the woman who says she was attacked by former Seattle Seahawks player Chad Wheeler is speaking out. Last week, you may recall, Wheeler pleaded not guilty to 3 charges, including domestic violence assault.
Last week, you may recall, that he pleaded not guilty. You see how he gets a fair shake? But every news people report Kanye and Kyrie's anti-Semitic. Every last one of them. There's not a fair shot. Welcome to the metaverse.
His ex-girlfriend showed up in court to face him. She says that Wheeler is still a threat to her safety. And now she's sharing her story in an exclusive interview with CBS This Morning. She spoke with our national correspondent, Jerika Duncan. Good morning to you, Jerika.
Good morning to you, Gail. Her name is Aaliyah Taylor, and it was a leaked photo of her injuries that made national headlines. Well, now she's ready to share her story. And most importantly, she wants domestic violence survivors to know they're not alone. We want to warn you, some of what you're about to see and hear is graphic.
I still have to regularly get my concussion checked. I have bolts and a steel plate I'm going to have forever in my arm. I'm going to have to deal with this the rest of my life.
That's the reality for 27-year-old Aaliyah Taylor after she says she was attacked by her then boyfriend, Chad Wheeler. Taylor says the pair dated for 6 months with barely any arguments.
We were like best friends. We did everything together. I even introduced him to my family. We would babysit my nephew together.
But according to Taylor, that all changed on January 22nd, starting with a text from Wheeler that he'd shaved his head.
He loved his long hair, refused to cut it, and it surprised me and it worried me. I came home and Chad was trying to play it off as if he just kind of cut his hair, but then as time went on throughout the day, he started going downhill emotionally.
Taylor later told police it was the beginning of a manic episode, adding she knew Wheeler suffered from bipolar disorder. Then, according to Taylor, Wheeler snapped into a dark place.
He stood up and he told me to bow down, and I asked him why, and he didn't respond. He just told me to bow down again, and I told him no, and he immediately grabbed my neck, and that's when things began.
Do you recall what happened after that?
When he grabbed my neck, he threw me on the bed, and I remember looking up at him and asking him, "Please stop, Chad, it's me." And I just immediately knew the look in his eyes, that was it.
Taylor, who is 5'9", says that's when Wheeler, 6'7", weighing more than 300 pounds, tried to choke her. According to Taylor, she blacked out twice before the attack was over.
I had touched my face, and I looked down, and there was blood on my hand. And I remember getting up and running to the bathroom. Chad was standing by the bed, by the doorway, and he was sipping his smoothie, and he's like, "Wow, you're still alive." "Please help me now. I'm gonna die."
Taylor says she then locked herself in the bathroom, called 911, and texted her family and Wheeler's father for help. According to police reports, it took 3 officers and 2 sets of handcuffs to restrain Wheeler. Police said Wheeler kept apologizing as he was arrested. Do you think that Chad's behavior is directly connected to a mental health issue?
To be honest, I don't know. He went and ate dinner after doing this to me, and he didn't take the same approach with the cops as he did with me.
The Seahawks dropped Wheeler, saying the team strongly condemns this act of domestic violence. If convicted, Wheeler faces 8 to 12 years in prison. Last week, he pleaded not guilty to 2 domestic violence-related charges and 1 count of resisting arrest. Taylor was in the courtroom. Why was it so important for you to appear in court?
I didn't want him to think that he had that power over me, that I wasn't going to defend myself. And I thought, how easy would that be for him and his legal team to be able to say whatever they want without having to look me in the eye.
Do you think he should serve prison time for what he did to you?
Yes. Yes, I definitely do think that he should. I have to say the hardest part of all this wasn't the surgeries, it wasn't any of that. It was getting a call from my niece and nephews. They thought they had lost me. And the pain in their voice, I will never forget that. I will never forget that.
And she doesn't want her story to be forgotten either. How grateful are you to be alive?
Beyond grateful, I really feel like God has blessed me with another chance, and I want to try to use the time I've been blessed with to help other people and to get this story out and make sure people don't feel alone and that this doesn't happen again.
CBS News reached out to the attorneys for Chad Wheeler. They declined to comment on the case. Wheeler's trial is set to begin in Washington State in April. A reminder, if you need help related to domestic violence or mental health, we've posted free resources on our website, cbsnews.com. A lot of strength exhibited by this young lady.
Very brave, so important and so powerful that she's speaking up, and especially the pictures, Jerika, are heartbreaking. And you look at the numbers, her height, his height, her weight, his weight.
6'7", 5'9", yeah.
A terrifying change in his demeanor.
Yes.
A shift, 6 months of dating, and then suddenly that?
Yeah, and she said not even an argument. You could tell she was very conflicted because she cared so much about him.
Yeah.
But this is one of those difficult stories to tell because it's not just the domestic violence, but also recognizing that there is a mental health component in this.
Yes, it's interesting that she had to say to him at one point, Chad, it's me.
It's me.
Right.
Although, as a matter of mental health awareness, being bipolar does not mean you beat up your family members.
Exactly. It's a very
something else
point.
going on here.
All right, Jerika, thank you very much.
I said the top G of what? What is
no.
Okay, so I don't think it's like dark room. Oh, it is actually kind of like this, but I don't want people to imagine I'm thinking it as like dark room dudes sitting around making plans. It's kind of like that, but it's just, you know, dinner clubs and golf clubs, etc. What I truly—
so not dark rooms, lighted rooms.
Like lit rooms, yeah, lit, very fancy, nice rooms. No, but what I truly believe it is that every single human on earth tries their very best to propagate their worldview. For the same reason we're doing this podcast, we're trying to explain to people how we think based on our own experiences and how we think the world should be, right? So if you have a worldview and you try your best to propagate it, the more powerful you are, the more influence you have over people, the more likely you are to influence your worldview. It's the same with any company, right? When you walk into your company at work, you want to say, look, do this, do this, do this, and people obey. You don't want to say, do this, do this, do this, and people disobey. So if you're a very, very important person and you're in charge of things and you control, I don't know, all the food in a country, you don't want a minister that's going to give you trouble. Why would you want members of parliament to give you trouble? This is your country. You basically own all the land. So you want a minister who's going to say, yes, sir, no, sir. It's your company. So the more powerful you are, the more likely you are to appoint people that enforce your worldview. And there's certain people in the world today that have so much influence.
The system's a scam. Look at these last few years. You're living in Canada. You haven't learned that everything's a fucking scam? All of it. Oh, but don't worry. If things don't go my way, I'll get to go to court and have my say in court. Yeah, that's fair. We learned that that doesn't mean a fucking thing. The law doesn't mean a thing. Your rights don't mean a thing. It's all a fucking scam. The only hope you have is to cure your brain, see the attacks which are coming from the Matrix, get a strong network of individuals such as the War Room, and then learn how to escape. Most people are so deep inside of their programming. What did Morpheus say in the Matrix? Most people are so hopelessly dependent on the system they will die and fight to defend it. Most people will sit here and pretend that the world they live in is just and fair because they are fucking slaves. Slave-minded.